The rain hadn't stopped for 3 days. It drummed against the windows of my small apartment, a relentless rhythm that mirrored the chaos in my head. I sat cross-legged on the floor, surrounded by the wreckage of my life, or what was left of it. My journals, my grandmother's necklace, the ticket stubs from that one perfect summer night with friends, all gone, tossed into a dumpster by Arjun, my ex, as if they were nothing, as if I was nothing. But in my hand, I held the one thing he valued above all else: his watch. Its polished silver face glinted under the dim light of my desk lamp, mocking me with its perfection. I could still hear his voice, sharp and cold, the day I reached for it on his dresser. "Don't touch that." The memory made my fingers tighten around it, as if I could crush his words with my grip. For weeks, I'd been caught in a silent war with myself. Part of me wanted to keep my promise, to return the watch and walk away with my head held high, proving I was better than him. But another part, the part he'd silenced for 2 years, wanted to make him feel the same hollow ache I did. Smashing it had crossed my mind more times than I cared to admit. I'd imagined dropping it from my balcony, watching it shatter on the pavement below, gears and glass scattering like my broken dreams. But every time I held it up, ready to let go, something stopped me. Not guilt, not exactly, but a nagging sense that destruction wasn't enough. It wouldn't heal me. It wouldn't bring back my journals or erase the nights I'd spent doubting my own sanity because of his words. That's when the idea came, quiet at first, like a whisper beneath the rain. What if I didn't destroy the watch? What if I transformed it? Took his precious symbol and made it mine, not through violence but through creation? I wasn't an artist, not really. I'd scribbled in journals, doodled in margins, but I'd never called myself creative. Yet the thought of turning his watch into something new, something that screamed me, felt like a lifeline. I set the watch down on the table. It's ticking, softer now, almost hesitant, as if it knew I was plotting its rebirth. That's when the idea came, quiet at first, like a whisper beneath the rain. What if I didn't destroy the watch? What if I transformed it? Took his precious symbol and made it mine, not through violence but through creation? I wasn't an artist, not really. I'd scribbled in journals, doodled in margins, but I'd never called myself creative. Yet the thought of turning his watch into something new, something that screamed me, felt like a lifeline. I set the watch down on the table. It's ticking, softer now, almost hesitant, as if it knew I was plotting its rebirth. The next morning, I went to the market. The rain had slowed to a drizzle, and the air smelled of wet earth and chai from the roadside stalls. I wandered through the narrow lanes, past vendors selling spices and trinkets, until I found what I was looking for, a small shop crammed with art supplies. The owner, an old man with ink-stained fingers, raised an eyebrow as I piled my basket with canvas, acrylics, glue, wire, and a small set of tools I barely knew how to use. "Big project?" he asked, his voice gravelly but kind. "Something like that," I said, managing a smile. "I'm figuring it out." Back home, I cleared the dining table, pushing aside bills and take-out menus to make space. The watch sat in the center, gleaming like it was daring me to begin. I opened my laptop and searched for inspiration, mixed media, art. Found object sculptures, anything that might guide me. Hours blurred into a montage of YouTube tutorials and Pinterest boards, each video sparking a flicker of possibility. I wasn't just going to break the watch. I was going to dismantle it piece by piece and build something that told my story. The first step was the hardest. I picked up a tiny screwdriver, my hands trembling, and pried open the watch's back. The gears inside were delicate, intricate, like the inner workings of a heart. I felt a pang of guilt. Arjun's face flashed in my mind, his eyes narrowing the way they did when I disappointed him, but I pushed it aside. This wasn't about him anymore. I worked slowly, separating the gears, the hands, the crystal face, laying them out like a surgeon preparing for an operation. Each piece felt heavy with meaning, not his, but mine. The hands that had ticked away the hours I'd spent trying to please him. The gears that had kept his world spinning while mine fell apart. Over the next few days, I lost myself in the process. I stretched a canvas across a wooden frame, its blank surface both daunting and inviting. I painted it first, broad strokes of deep blue and crimson, colors that felt like the bruise of my heart and the fire of my anger. Then I began to build. I glued the watch's gears in a spiral, their metallic glint catching the light like stars in a chaotic sky. The crystal face, cracked slightly from my clumsy handling, became the centerpiece, refracting light into jagged rainbows. I wove wire through the composition, looping it like threads of memory.